Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast, brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi. This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. Get razors for $1 a month plus a few bucks shipping, so you can enjoy fresh razors every month for as little as $3. Learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio. This portion of the program is brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVWheelator.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVWheelator.com.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again?
844-204-1055.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055. The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com. This portion of the program is brought to you by RoughToughKennels.com. Dog kennels and accessories sent to your front door wherever you live. Your dog deserves it. Learn more at RoughToughKennels.com. This portion of the program is brought to you by CarsForSale.com. If you're in the market to buy a car, truck, or van, find thousands of vehicles to choose from at CarsForSale.com. This portion of the program is brought to you by StoneGroupArchitects.com. It's more than a building. It's design and function working together. Check out the project portfolio at StoneGroupArchitects.com. This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi. This portion of the program is brought to you by GunUp.com. If you're a gun lover, you'll be in heaven at GunUp.com. Built by experienced military veterans, shooting sports competitors, and publishing professionals. They have awesome stories and articles that are read by millions of gun enthusiasts. Check it out at GunUp.com. This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast. This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV. Call 1-800-259-7646. They have hundreds of channels to choose from, with many packages to fit your viewing desires. Learn more at 1-800-259-7646. Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good. It's Tuesday. That means we have Tuesdays with Charlie later in the program. I always enjoy doing that. You got to go hang out with them. I did not get to hang out with them, so...
It was a lot of fun. It's always fun hanging out with my family.
I know.
My family's a blast.
I had to work, so I had stuff I had to do. But, it was fun, the stuff I did too, so I kind of feel like, get the best of both worlds. But, hey, I got some info for you here. Did you know that snails produce a colorless, sticky discharge that forms a protective carpet under them as they travel along? The discharge is so effective that snails can crawl along the edge of a razor without cutting themselves. So,
really?
Yeah. So they put down like this little slimy mat wherever they're walking, and they don't touch whatever it is they're walking on.
Huh.
So there you go. That's snails. Let's hear it for the snails. So they would leave a trail wherever they go too then, wouldn't they?
I'm sure it's not like...
So, 2 reasons the snail could never rob a bank. 1, the getaway wouldn't be very fast. And 2, you could just follow the snail trail. Just saying. All right, got some fun stuff to share. Thanks for listening to a Tuesday edition of the John and Heidi Show. Time has a way of passing some people by. Anthropologists say there are at least 21,000 towns and villages around the world where folks live exactly the way they did 100 years ago. So, think about the technology we have. People are listening right now, either on their radio or their computer or telephone even in some cases, but they're listening through this digital electronic device that didn't even exist 100 years ago. And there are some towns, some places in the world where people haven't changed at all in the last 100 years.
Sometimes I wonder if that wouldn't be better.
Oh, no. I go for technology any day. No interest in dialing the clock back that far. Now, I wouldn't mind going back, 20 years maybe, but no way would I want to go back 100 years. I love the technologies we have.
Yeah, 20 years, maybe even 30 years would be good.
Hey, listen to this. Kissing helps to reduce negative energy. It lowers the amount of stress hormones in the body. So come on over here and give me a kiss.
Yeah.
Coming up, we've got You've Heard It on the Radio, and there's some funny stuff there on the way on the John and Heidi Show. Oh, Heidi, this is true because you heard it on the radio. Have you ever wondered if the person on the other end of a phone is truly listening to what you're saying?
Yeah.
A new invention will solve that problem for you. If you've ever wondered if somebody, you're talking to on the phone is really paying attention.
You can zap them?
No. You'll soon be able to find out thanks to the, and I'm not making this name up, the jerk-o-meter. Yeah, the jerk-o-meter. Researchers at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, also known as MIT, for those of you who've heard of them, they're developing software for cell phones that would analyze speech patterns and voice tones to rate people on a scale of 0 to 100% according to how engaged they are in your conversation. Heidi, come on, over here, pay attention. They say the jerk-o-meter could assist telephone sales and marketing efforts and could help prevent arguments in relationships by forcing couples to be more attentive to one another on the telephone.
That's ridiculous.
Why would they call it the jerk-o-meter? I think that's the wrong name for this device.
And first of all, depending on who you're talking to, it's very easy to zone out, not looking at anybody in particular.
You're looking and smiling when you look right at me. You're saying that I kind of halfway through a conversation start to sound like Charlie Brown's parents to you?
Yes, you do sometimes. And I just every once in a while say, yep.
And here's the cool thing.
Yep.
Later,
that's a great idea.
When I decide to do some harebrained idea, I can say, hey, we talked about this, and you loved the idea. You're like, when did we talk about this? On the phone. Don't you remember? You're like, oh, no. Yeah, I wasn't even paying attention to you. Whatever it was you said, I wasn't listening to you. So, but the jerk-o-meter, why not the attentometer? Like it tells if you're paying attention. Or the attentionometer or something. Jerk-o-meter, to me, sounds like the person's being a jerk. That doesn't necessarily mean they're being a jerk. It means they're not paying attention to you. Which then again, I guess is maybe being a little bit of a jerk. All right. It's true because you heard it on the radio. And this is your brain on drugs. Baking a cake to say thank you to your real estate agent. That's a good idea, unless, of course, you're a moron. West Hartford police say they charged 51-year-old woman with assault, reckless endangerment, and tampering with evidence after she allegedly served a marijuana-tainted ginger cake to her real estate agent. Yeah.
Tampering with evidence?
Well, it goes on. Authorities say the 28-year-old man called 911 shortly after leaving her home saying, I don't feel good. He was treated at a local hospital and released. Medics initially thought maybe he was allergic to the ginger cake. Police said they later determined the woman told someone else that she had laced it with marijuana. They have ordered some tests on the dessert. So I think she was trying to dispose of the remnants. I think that's the tampering with evidence thing.
Yeah, I don't get that. Because was she under arrest?
I don't know. She was certainly under the influence.
I wonder
of
how
being
she
an idiot.
was. Yeah, I wonder how.
I don't know.
How is tampering with evidence? That seems like a bogus charge that
There you go. Well,
could very easily get thrown out. But the rest of it,
yeah,
that's not okay.
She was 51. The real estate agent was 28.
Maybe she thought the real estate agent would enjoy it.
Hey, maybe he's into
this. She's going to enlighten the real estate agent.
That's a bad idea. Don't do dumb stuff. Coming up, your moment of duh. This would be one of my worst nightmares. I love the fact that you and I are married to each other. We pay attention to each other. We're there for each other all the time.
What?
Thank you. Thank you for proving my point. But we'd all agree funerals are a bummer, but the passing of a loved one can have a devastating effect on you for weeks, months, or even years in some cases. But then there's this case of a Kentucky man. He was so upset about having to arrange the funeral for his mother that his mother that passed away, that he simply decided not to. He left her in a chair for 5 years.
Oh!
Wondering why nobody had heard from her in years, relatives finally phoned the police, who stopped by the house and found her
that's disgusting.
bones sitting in the chair.
Oh, my gosh.
And
That's disgusting.
Covered her with a sheet. And they're like, what happened? He goes, well, she died on her own. I just really didn't want to deal with it. So I just put a sheet over it, and I was like, yeah, there you go.
Whoa.
But you also hear about people who pass away, and they're like, there's nobody in their life.
Can you
and they're
imagine
there
the
for years.
smell?
Apparently, it must not have been too bad because he was okay with it. Maybe he had some Febreze. I have no idea.
Oh, my goodness.
That's
disgusting.
There you go. Well,
That's a Norman Bates situation there.
Kind of. We got your scoop of the day coming up in a bit. Now, your scoop of the day. Data compiled by the National Safety Council shows more people get hurt using their cell phones at home than they do in public. 52% of cell phone distracted walking injuries occurred in the home. Roughly 10 to 11% involve texting while walking at home. So be careful out there, people.
I think doing anything while walking, you're gonna get hurt.
Well, not anything, but yeah, you should be careful if you're distracted while you're
You
walking.
can't be distracted.
Exactly.
This weekend, I went to the woods with my family.
Yeah, you did. We're going to talk to Charlie about that here in a bit.
I had to go use the
Ladies'
facilities,
room?
which
Yeah.
was basically just crouched behind a bush.
I missed out on all this.
And I was walking and decided to take my sunglasses off and put them on top of my head.
That's not a
And
difficult task.
As I was doing that, I wasn't looking down, tripped right over a log, face first right into the ground. My whole family saw me. They're all laughing. I'm like, I could have impaled my eyeball with a stick or something. You guys are laughing at me.
At least they were there for you, Heidi. Hey, speaking of the woods and nature, update on the dude, Kyle Waring. You remember this guy from last week? He's the dude that bundles New England dried up multicolored leaves to your door.
Yeah.
For $19.99. He'll send you at least 3 leaves for $20. He has taken over 200 orders. What is that?
That is
I'm just
nuts.
giving you an update because last week I said nobody's going to do this. Well, at least 200 people are. And it's probably more than that now. This update was from last week.
Just take a walk around the block. I guarantee you'll
come
find
on.
some leaves somewhere.
All right. The bigger the plate and serving utensil, the more you're going to dish out. In one study, people at an ice cream social were given a large bowl and 3-ounce scooper. They ate 53% more ice cream than those given a small bowl and a 2-ounce scooper. With beverages, research show that people pour 28% more into short, wide glasses than into tall, skinny glasses, according to Brian Wanzik, Ph.D., director of the Food and Brain Lab at Cornell University. So there you go. So if you want to drink less, have a tall, skinny glass instead of a short, wide glass. Scientists at this is a weird name, Wrocław University.
Okay.
It's in Poland. They conducted a study, and they found that women whose legs were 5% longer than average were judged to have more attractive legs.
Okay.
Okie dokie then. All right, the FDA said they're going to start asking doctors to keep an eye out for misleading advertisements. The agency's Bad Ad program urges doctors to report ads and sales pitches that violate the FDA rules. So here's what they're doing. They're saying, hey, if you see ads that are violating the rules, tell us about it. Who are the people who are usually doing these ads? The doctors. I'm just saying.
No, they're not.
Who are the
drug
ones doing
companies that are it's the drug companies
Okay.
that are putting out ads that say,
Well, there
hey,
you
if
go.
you think you may have these symptoms, ask your doctor about
All right.
whatever.
Well, doctors, I apologize then. I was thinking that maybe it was the doctors that were saying that we consult.
And I agree with that
There you
completely
go.
because there are some things that people are self-diagnosing
yeah.
and they really shouldn't be. That should be left up to the physician. So I'm totally okay with that.
For those of you looking for a diet that just might work, take a listen to this. Brown seaweed could fight fat.
Ugh.
A pigment
Yeah, it
found
could
in
because you're
it's
not going to
called,
eat it.
I'm not even going to try to say it. It's a big, long word.
Apparently, seaweed comes in many colors.
Reduces
We read
dangerous
about red.
abdominal fat, cholesterol, according to a new study funded by the Japanese government. So just Google brown seaweed if you want. I don't know how to say the name, and I'm not even going to try it. A Florida man and his 15-month-old son just happened to, by coincidence, an accident, dial 911. The boy then went off and did what toddlers do best, started crying. Dispatchers, fearing the worst, sent police officers who kicked in the front door. They discovered the boy's father, who was wanted on an outstanding warrant, just coincidentally.
Oh, wow.
So the kid called the police on his daddy.
Both of our kids have called 911 accidentally.
Yeah. Well, I just think it's funny that accidental call ended up arresting his dad. All right, and our strange law. In Salt Lake City, Utah, it's against the law to carry an unwrapped ukulele on the street. And you know why that is, don't you?
No.
No, neither do I, 'cause it doesn't make any sense. That is your strange law, and this has been your Scoop of the Day. Time now for my favorite thing we do. Every Tuesday, we pick up the phone and we call my father-in-law for a little program we like to call Tuesdays with Charlie. How you doing, Charlie?
Hey, the phone rang, and it must be Tuesday.
It is. I'd like to say that we reach out to you more often than that, but you'd get sick of us if we called too much, wouldn't you?
Well, you're the only people to talk to me, so much.
I apologize that I wasn't able to come with this weekend.
Weren't you there?
No, I wasn't there.
Oh, okay.
So what are we going to learn about today, Charlie?
Hey, do you know that, let's see here, 1/3 of all people in the U.S. consume alcohol?
1/3?
That seems
Well,
low.
not the U.S., the world. The world. 1/3 of people in the world consume alcohol.
1/3 of people in the world. So 2/3 of people in the world do not?
Well, they must be little kids.
Yeah, they must be counting children and...
Yeah,
Would be
teetotalers.
heavier than that. Do you know where the heaviest drinking takes place?
At your house?
Well, that too. Russia and Europe.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I think they drink a lot in Russia.
They do.
I had to go visit that place.
Maybe you're Russian and you don't know it.
It could be. Ivan. They call me Ivan.
Charlie the Terrible.
There you go. I've told you this a long time ago, but each year, choking on ballpoint pens kills about 100 people.
No kidding.
That is insane.
What are you doing
How
with
in
a
the
ball?
hell do you choke on a ballpoint pen?
I don't know either.
I could see like the cap from a ballpoint pen, but what would you be doing with a pen jammed down your throat?
See, I do chew on my pens, so I guess if somebody, like if you were walking along and tripped or something, I don't know.
I've used a pen like a toothpick.
Do you what?
Yeah, it'll work. A ballpoint pen?
The pen side or the lid?
The pen side.
You use the pen.
The little ballpoint
Are you
part of it.
kidding?
or
That could be
toothpick.
why you're losing all of your teeth, Dad.
I think it has something to do with old age.
This stuff writes itself. I'm just saying.
Speaking of pens, in 95% of all cases, if a person is given a new pen, you know what the first word he would write with it?
Their name.
Yep.
They sign their name.
Get a new pen, they got to check it out, see if it works, they write their name.
I see pen, like at stores where they sell pens, people sign their name all over those pages. I'm like, I
Yeah,
don't
they
think I
do.
want to do that.
No, I always write your name.
Charlie was here.
Hey, then did you know that 1/3 of all pens in America are owned by Bic?
Bic? They own a third of all the
third of
pens,
them?
huh?
Yep.
Cool.
I didn't know that. Well, they make a lot of them cheap ones, though.
Yeah.
15% of women have a pair of shoes for every day of the month.
So over 30 pairs of shoes?
15% of all women.
How many do you have?
I probably have close to that.
Are you kidding me? I got 3 pairs of shoes, and 2 of those pairs never get used.
The average men have 12 pair of shoes.
I am below average, Charlie.
Me too. And average women have 27.
Man, that is
Yeah.
crazy.
So I suppose then 1 pair for every day of the month. Almost.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, then every year companies purchase 16.5 million chairs.
That's a lot of chairs, man.
That's a lot of chairs.
You guys need to quit sitting down and get some work done.
Hey, then you know what the definition of a shin is. You know what a shin is.
Yeah,
The thing on your leg?
Yeah.
What's the definition of it?
Device for finding furniture in the dark.
that's true. Every time.
That's very true.
Hey, then I got one last thing here for you.
What's that?
Your old buddy, President Lyndon Johnson,
I remember that guy.
he had 2 dogs.
Yeah?
You know what their names were?
Oh, I do. Let me think here.
You probably would.
I can't think of what they are. What are their names?
Him and her.
Ah, there you go. See? I did know that. Him and her. All right, you ready for a question, Charlie?
Okay, I'm ready for a question.
Here we go. What does SOS stand for the SOS pads? You know those little things you use to scrub dishes and stuff?
Soap on a shingle. I don't know.
No.
Close?
Not even close. Not a single one of those words was right. Save our saucepans. That's what it stands for.
You're kidding me.
Save our saucepans. No.
Oh, that's
Or
stupid.
soap on a shingle.
Soap on a shingle.
Oh, that's reminds me of something when I was a kid we used to have. I'm not even going to go there. We're going to just move on.
I know what you're going to say.
I know.
You're talking about beef on toast, right?
Yeah, that's what-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what
Dad
you were
knows
referring
you're gonna
to?
say, too, because my dad
Yeah.
called it the same thing.
That's what my dad called it. So apparently that's your generation thing.
There you go.
Well, Charlie, thank you so much for entertaining us and informing us and leading the next generation astray.
Once again, the knowledge is just unreal.
It is. Unreal is absolutely how I would describe it. Most of it's not real. Well, Charlie, thanks again. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye, Flop. Bye,
Bye,
John.
Daddy.
Bye-bye. That's my father-in-law right there. We call him every Tuesday just because we can with a little program we like to call Tuesdays with Charlie. Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today,
I
John?
thought you'd never ask. It's Tuesday, the 27th day of October. Today is your day, Heidi. It is Cranky Coworkers Day.
Ah,
Actually, you know what?
we all deserve a day.
You're usually in a pretty darn good mood. And if you are cranky, you know why you're cranky?
It's usually because of you.
Something dumb that I did. Exactly. Today is also World Day of Audiovisual Heritage. I have to think about that one. World Day of Audiovisual Heritage. So
All right.
a good day to watch old movies, maybe?
I have no
Or
idea.
I'm not exactly sure. And a day that we're going to celebrate with our son. It is Navy Day today. So, day to celebrate
Wasn't
the
it just Navy Day the other day?
Was it really?
I thought so.
Maybe there's another Navy Day today. I don't know. It says Navy Day. So there you go. Coming up here in a bit, have some costume ideas since, we got a big thing coming up towards the end of this week. That is on the way, so stick around for that on this special day, Tuesday, the 27th day of October. This Saturday is Halloween. There's a lot of folks that are going to be dressing up for costume parties and all that kind of stuff. And I have a list here. It says, "'Tis the season for costume parties. Even people not celebrating Halloween like to have a little costume party once in a while. So if you're having one for your office or your school, you don't want to, be left out by not wearing something awesome. So got some great family-friendly costume ideas for school and the office. You ready for this, Heidi?
Ready.
All right. One on the list, a day off. Assuming the party is on October 31st, use black lettering, write October 30th or November 1st on a blank shirt. When people say what you are, say, I'm a day off. One day off, see? Mm-hmm. See, these are not necessarily my ideas. I'm just sharing the ones that are sent in here. Next, running late. Show up to the office with messy hair and disheveled clothes and make your pajamas, wear your pajamas and say, what are you supposed to be? I'm running late.
These are stupid.
Hey, I never said they were good. I just said these were easy. Next, office gossip. Make up fun stories about your coworkers. Fasten these stories to yourself and then wear those around. And then when people ask what you are, you're the office gossip. Pink slip. These are really dumb.
These are really
no
dumb.
No one ever wants to be served the dreaded pink slip at work. Wear a pink slip over your work clothes and chase your coworkers around saying that you're the pink slip. Yeah, these ideas might end up getting you in trouble.
Yeah.
Next one, Post-it note. Wear all yellow, and then it says if you're doing a trick-or-treat kind of thing, pass out real Post-it notes. I see. So you're supposed to hand those out.
That is so. These are so lame.
That one's dumb too. I'm looking to see if there's any good ones. Leftovers. Wrap yourself in aluminum foil with a sign on your chest that says leftovers.
Yeah,
These are easy. These are easy ideas, but they're also really dumb. And the last one, a vending machine. Dress in black and fasten snacks to yourself with the cost of each one. And then tell people. And then it says you can also place an out-of-order sign. There you go. You're the vending machine. There's some ideas. I never said they were good ideas. Thank you, by the way.
That was a waste of airtime.
To the people who compiled that wonderful list. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Take a listen to this story from Scotland about ATMs. They are the bane of society. They cost money to use. They're way too easy to get to. But people use them anyway because ATMs, they're all over the place. And there's a place in Edinburgh, Scotland, where they're much nicer to you. Bank customers in Scotland had their money doubled when a cash machine went on the blink. Dozens of people received twice as much as the ATM was supposed to give them. Bank customers found out about this unusual, generous cash machine. They stood in line waiting for their bonus. Some drawing the limit on their account, knowing they'd get twice as much.
Whoa.
A spokesperson for the bank said they are unsure how much money would have been recovered. Sadly for the bank patrons, the ATM was fixed shortly thereafter. So there were
the people that
in
were
line.
Able to do it, did they
I don't know.
have to give that money back?
Doesn't
Because there'd be
say.
a transaction of exactly who got what money.
But I don't know. It doesn't say if they did, but people were saying, hey, I'm going to drain my bank account and get twice as much.
Can't say I blame them.
I'm going to run into the bank and put this back in, and I'm going to do it again. I don't know. That happened at an ATM in Scotland. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday. There's no place like home, Heidi. The
Okay.
German post office has a nice tradition of sending good luck cards to people who move into a new home. That's a neat idea.
Oh, that's nice.
The cards are automatically sent out as a customer relations tactic to welcome Germans to the new address. One man in Ludenberg didn't find his new home so pleasant. The card read, The post office wishes you a good move. You've made it. And now you've earned a rest and you get used to your new surroundings. Well, the man who
He was in prison.
Yeah, the man who got it, his new address was actually prison.
That's awesome.
So he wasn't too thrilled. He's like, thanks for rubbing it in, post office. But that's what their standard card says. Hey, you've earned the rest. Get used to your new surroundings.
That's awesome.
Welcome to your new place. We're the post office. We're here for you. This man's not unpacking boxes. Instead, he's sitting in a cubicle reading the one card he got, and he's not too thrilled about it. All right, coming up, we've got a sore loser that we're going to talk about. This is a young girl that didn't get to play as much or whatever. Anyway, I hope this doesn't set a precedent, but she's trying to sue her coach. We'll tell you all about that in a minute. I was never really involved in a lot of sports. When I was a kid, I was involved in a couple of sports, like for a season or two, but I was never really a sports guy. Were you in sports at all?
No. That's a silly question.
Well, I kind of thought I knew the answer, but you just never know. Well, a teenager is suing her softball coach because he didn't pay enough attention to her. This is in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
She's suing a volunteer softball coach and the volunteer-run softball organization for how much do you think?
I have no clue.
$700,000.
Oh, good Lord.
Claiming
Are you kidding?
They incorrectly taught her how to play softball, and they demoralized her. She claims that her coach liked other players more, and now her chances at an athletic scholarship are ruined forever. The organization named in the lawsuit said they think the lawsuit is ridiculous. They'll do nothing but hurt a lot of other innocent people who volunteer their time and try to help kids.
All across the country, not just in
Yeah.
that one area. I mean, if they set a precedent that you can sue
I
a
sure hope they
volunteer
don't
coach.
win.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, if it's not the coach's job to make you better, you need to practice. So if the coach is telling you what to do and you're not doing it, you can't come back and sue the coach. That's just ridiculous.
And if you thought you were good enough for scholarships and to have a future, one coach telling you something incorrectly isn't going to screw up your chances of
I want to tell
advancing.
you a really quick story, and I know
Because if you knew it was wrong, you wouldn't be doing it. If you knew this coach was teaching you wrong because you were already so good,
that you were going to get
you
a scholarship.
wouldn't be sidetracked.
Let me tell you about somebody else who didn't get the attention that he deserved. This young man that was playing in high school, playing basketball, and he didn't even get picked for the varsity team. But he didn't sue anybody. Instead, he put his time and effort into practicing more, and he ended up playing for the NBA and became one of the best basketball players of all time, Michael Jordan. He didn't make the cut for his high school team. Did he sue anybody? No. Instead, he said, I'm going to go on to greatness without that. So I'm really sad to hear this girl did this, and it's disappointing.
We've
really
created
hope,
a nation full of victims.
Well,
and
I really
that
hope
needs
that
to stop.
I hope that they don't succeed on that. Coming up, we've got some good news that is on the way. We always try to end this show with something positive, Heidi. Mm-hmm. Some days it's tough to find, but not today. Listen to this. Good Grocer. It's a food market in Minneapolis. They're putting a fresh spin on the traditional co-op model to help low-income residents. According to the Twin City Daily Planet, which is a newspaper that I think has an awesome name. Isn't that where Superman worked, the Daily Planet?
I think he did, yeah.
I think so, too. By offering reduced prices in exchange for volunteer work. The store hopes
nice.
to make quality, healthy food more widely accessible, even for people who can't necessarily afford it. Throughout the store, which opened back in June, all items are marked with two prices, one for volunteers and one for non-volunteers. To receive a 25% discount on regular prices, all you need to do is sign up for a membership that commits you to a certain task or chore at the store. So they're saying, hey, they have volunteers that run the store, and they're saying this is a way for us to get people who come in here to shop, hey, get a discount, just volunteer to help. I think that is a brilliant idea.
That is brilliant. That's brilliant.
And I think this business model or this model should be used for other people, too. I know I've talked to people who work at like food pantries that struggle to find volunteers. You have people that are using them say, hey, come in and volunteer to help.
Yeah, I think you should be required to work it.
No, here's the thing. I don't want to say required because now you have to. What I'm saying is they should want to. And the same thing, I helped volunteer one time at a place where they serve lunch and breakfast. And they said sometimes we struggle to find volunteers. And I thought, have you ever asked the people who are here because a lot of them would probably be more than happy to help out. They know who better, because they know what a great service that is. So this group, Good Grocer out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, doing what I think is a really, really, really cool thing. I'm going to throw a link on our Facebook page because I just think it's such a cool story. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday. And your bonus break is brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. You can learn more on their website. I'll tell you about that here in a second. But first, I want to tell you why you should go there. You should go there if you ever shave. Because if you shave, you can save money. You can save time by stopping on their website and getting all the details. Go to dollarshaveclub.com/radio. And for as little as $3 a month, you'll have razors every single month. It's a cool thing. Again, dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Going to make your bonus break short and sweet today. 39-year-old Gustavo Riviera recently slid into a ventilator shaft at a restaurant in Miami with the idea of stealing some money.
Oh, boy.
Unfortunately for Vieira, he got stuck in the grease-filled shaft with his arms above his head and his legs dangling down between the grates.
Oh, man.
Feet hanging over the grill. He was stuck for 8 hours.
Oh, my gosh. What an idiot.
7 a.m. the next morning, a passerby heard him screaming and called 911. It was then that the fire rescue team arrived and got him out of the shaft. When police arrived, they arrested him.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
I think this guy has been shafted. I've been waiting to say that all morning, and
Yeah.
you didn't even.
That was
chuckle.
awesome.
Oh, yeah, thank you. All right, a New York man is allegedly had to try to open his account at a bank. Let me try this whole thing again, because I think I'm reading that right. A New York man is alleged to have tried to open an account at a bank 4 days after robbing the very same bank. Police
Didn't we talk about this guy?
I don't know. Jack Strider.
He had a baseball cap on? Is this the same
man
guy?
who held up a Queens branch of Chase Manhattan. Staff telephoned police saying they recognized him when he was there 4 days later. He's now been charged with robbery. They're like, hey, that's the guy. He's the guy that robbed.
I thought we just talked about that. Maybe it's another idiot. I don't know.
There's a lot of idiots out there. So it's very, very possible. But I don't know. I do want to say this. If you have some awesome stuff to share for our bonus break, I would love it if you'd email that stuff to me. Or if you've got a great question to ask Charlie for Tuesdays with Charlie, just send it to john@johnandheidishow.com. And when you send that over to me, I will be able to add that to our plethora of wonderful things that we talk about. And it's always fun when people send things in, other than the one I got today for the costume ideas. Don't send stuff like that.
Who is sending you those things anyways?
I'm not going to say because I don't want to hurt Darren's feelings. I mean, did I say that? No, I would love it if you'd send stuff over. And I promise I won't throw you under the bus. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show bonus break, brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. Learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.